I don't know if using the Maffetone method is the best way to train right at the moment. Let me explain. My name is David and I'm the Plant Powered Runner. I've been using the Maffetone method for on and off for the last 2 and a bit years, and I love heart rate training. It has allowed me to go from basically sitting on a couch to running an ultra marathon, like 50 miles, that's pretty damn far, in a year. So
how you feeling, David?
80 kilometers! Woo! A lot of people are coming to my channel for a lot of different reasons. Running related, heart rate related, losing weight, these types of things. I'm kind of all of those, but I'm just like you. I'm a runner. I want to improve. I want to get better. And I want to connect with other like-minded runners like yourselves because we're a community. We may be far away from each other. You guys may be watching over in Europe or you're in the United States. Being alone in the woods right now does give me this time to reflect, to figure out if right now is the time, if right now is the best time to be training using the Maffetone method. And it's going to be different for each of you. Nobody is going to be the same, and we all have our own goals and our aspirations. So take this time and look at it and try to reflect to see if any of these things relate, and maybe it starts that conversation internally so you can start figuring out, am I on track? Is this the best thing to be doing for me at the moment right now? Because who knows, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the right thing to be doing right now, and maybe you need to take a step back, or maybe you need to take a step forward and embrace it. Today I'm just doing a little bit of a talking video, guys, because I've been really thinking a lot in the last little while. The world is going through so many changes and things are getting really expensive. There's a ton of people losing their jobs, even though unemployment rate in Canada and the US is like the lowest it's ever been. Things haven't been easy for families. And a lot of people have kind of put their fitness goals kind of on the back burner, so to speak. And what I mean by that is they're focusing more of their energy, at work, at a place of their employment, because they're worried if they're going to be next, if they're going to be coming home with a pink slip and having to tell their wife or their husband that they're no longer employed. Like, look, don't get me wrong, right? Like, there's a lot of good things going on right now, but there's a lot of things that are not so good. And there's families that are struggling just to put food on the table, to find 15 minutes out of their day to connect with their wives. It can be so challenging for people, specifically in the new year, because things may be a little bit slow at work and you're trying to keep your boss happy by staying busy or something like that. And I've really been reflective in this moment, and the reason it's quiet for me, and when I get idle I start to think a lot, and there's a lot of worry that comes with that. Now, how this ties in to your fitness and to Maffetone training, heart rate training, Kavarvan training, however all of this kind of comes in together, heart rate is very finicky. I've been using heart rate for a long time and I've gotten very fit over the year, and I've also kind of regressed the other way. So I kind of know a little bit about both ends of the spectrum. Look, I'm no elite athlete. You guys know that. I'm a runner. I'm just like you. I'm a businessman, and I try my best to be there for my family, for my friends, for my clients. And then it's like, what's left for me? Do you ever have that feeling? Comment below and let me know if you have troubles trying to eke out some time for yourself, where you don't feel guilty about going out and looking after your body by doing a run, by spending some alone time instead of with your family, with your spouse, with your friends, right? Because it happens. It happens to me. So if you are trying to use the Maffetone method and you are in a very, very stressful situation with your work, this may be very difficult for you to hear. Your heart rate is going to be higher than what you're going to like. Heart rate is attached to stress. It is attached to coffee that we drink. It is attached to the food that we eat, to the lack of sleep that we have. It's attached to a lot of different things, and we as runners, we just want to go out and run. We don't want to walk, we don't want to hike. We just want to run. We want that runner's high. We want to be able to move as efficiently and as fast as possible. We want to explore trails and road races. Sometimes we just do it for our mental health. And so when we focus so much on what the watch is telling us, that can put even more stress on our bodies, on our heart. And sometimes we go down that spiral where we start to kind of eat junk food that we shouldn't eat, or we drinking too much coffee. In some cases, I know some runners that have really regressed and have gotten back into smoking, believe it or not. Look, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying I've seen it happen. Everyone has their vices. Everyone has their struggles. And so if you are planning on using the Maffetone method, this time of year may be a good time for you to start to build your base before the race season begins. But it can also be a time of reflection to say, maybe it's not time. Maybe it's not the right moment for me to start running, to start running slowly, to start building up this base, because I have a massive project that is due. I'm burning the midnight oil. I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm not getting a lot of sleep. I'm eating M&Ms when I'm sitting at my desk. I'm not moving throughout the day. I am not engaged. I am literally focused on trying to get this project done for my boss because his boss is asking for it, and then the board of directors are on them. It kind of top down, right? So there can be a lot of pressure on people. And when there's a lot of pressure, your heart rate may not be in that zone that you're hoping that it would be in. And then you get down on yourself because then you're walking and then you're like, what is going on? Why isn't this working for me? And then you get frustrated. And then what happens? You go out for a run and then you end up running too fast too many days in a row, and then boom, then you get an injury. And then you're really ticked off because then you're like, I got this massive project due. Now I'm injured. I'm just like, all I want to do is run. And now you're on the sidelines and you're not so happy. Your freedom to go out and explore and to clear your mind and to get out on the trails, to build up your aerobic base, to be able to run faster at a slow heart rate and improve over time is no longer there. You're like in a setback. You may have gained a lot of weight over the last little while, and look, I can raise my hand to that. However, I know it's only a moment in time and things are improving. And yes, they are improving, just so you know. I'll be doing a video on that in a couple of weeks, giving you an update. The seasonality comes into play when you're dealing with heart rate. So again, depending on where you are and on what type of weather you're dealing with, your heart rate is going to be affected by that. And when that happens, again, you're slowing down, you're having to adjust. These are tough things. These are not just easy things to deal with, specifically when someone says, hey, run slower and you're going to get faster. So is it the right time to be running slow? Only you are going to know if that works for you and if it works in your life, because there's so many life things happening right now that I'm not a judge. No one should judge anybody. We're all living our own lives and we're all doing the best that we can do with the information that we have. So be kind to yourself. What can you do in your life to change things so that way you can see more results using the Maffetone training or the Convarvin method, heart rate training in general? What can you do to set yourself up for success? And I think understanding your current situation, reflecting on where you are as a runner, as a person, as to what's going on in your lifestyle, can make a big difference in the way that you approach this method. Because this method may not be for you. It could be maybe something else, right? There's different ways of training, and we all know that. I'm no coach. I'm not any of those things, right? I'm just some dude drinking a coffee up in Canada and just enjoying a little bit of snow before I go to my next appointment. But one thing I can tell you, and this is super important, and I think this would be the key to any of your training, specifically when you're using heart rate. And it's no secret. You know this already. It's called consistency. Whether you're running every day or not, or whether you're running 5 days a week, as long as you're consistent, it's like building up your retirement investments. It's like having compounded interest on your money. Over time, you will get richer as time goes on, right? Compounded interest is a wonderful thing. And again, I'm no money guy either, okay? These are just some things that I kind of think about to help me with my Maffetone training, with my heart rate training, and how to get better and how to get stronger. Isn't that kind of what we want to be able to do, just to kind of have self-improvement, enjoyment in life without the injuries and without the burnouts? Yes, we may not all have 2 hours to run every day, or even an hour for that matter. You may only have half an hour, but half an hour consistently over a period of months each day or 5 days a week, that's huge. And that will pay dividends in your running. If I wanted to start using the Maffetone Method, these are the things that I would be looking for to see if it was the right time to train this way. Number one, do I actually have the time that it's going to take to see results? And what I mean by that is, can you commit to a number of months running slowly a number of times a week and be consistent at it? If you want to see results, you may not want to have anything on the schedule when it comes to races for the next 3 months, because honestly, that's kind of the amount of time that it's going to take to start to see some really good results. And if you are time focused on running a marathon or a half marathon or a 10K, and you're really focused on time, that you want to get a PB or you want to run it as fast as you can, then this may not be the method for you. If you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, if you're looking for a change, nothing's going to change unless you make it happen. You can continue to train the way that you've been training for years, or you could decide, hey, let's give this thing a shot and let's give it some time to see if I get the results. Training this way, there's a number of things that you would have to do to really see the benefits. And one of them comes down to getting enough sleep and eating healthy. Everyone wants to see change, but no one wants to put in the hard work that it may involve. And changing your diet to eat better, to eat more cleanly, that's one of those things that most people don't want to change. They want to kind of hack their way into it. But that just isn't me. But that's just me. You got to do it your own way. And regardless of whatever everybody tells you, including me, you may want to try it your own way and see if that works for you. And if it does, keep doing what you're doing, because then it's working for you. Is this whole Maffetone training? This is more of a lifestyle change than anything else. Yes, you get faster running at a slow heart rate, and you may have to change your food, get more sleep, reduce the stress, all that kind of stuff, but you don't need to do it all on day one, right? It's something that you can work towards. Maybe just do one thing. Start there. Maybe it's just walking. Maybe you can't run at that heart rate. Maybe try using the Aerobic method to figure out your heart rate zones to start off with, and maybe that's what you have to do. Or maybe you just walk. Only you're gonna know how to do that. So again, don't overwhelm yourself. It takes time, it all works out, and sometimes we all have a day one. If you wanna follow along on my journey with me trying to lose my 50 pounds and being able to run a half marathon in under 2 hours and set a couple of PBs along the way, then join me. Click right here. It's gonna be one heck of a ride. So join me, thanks a lot. And guys who have been following me for a long time, thanks a lot. I really do appreciate all of you guys watching and clicking, liking, supporting. It really does mean a lot to me. So cheers, and I hope your running goes well. And like I always say, get out and run.